Alrighty. So witch. There's this one witch which I particularly love. Now, this is one of the reasons I love God. This one person is already going to the hospital. You know, me personally, I haven't been in a car accident. You know, I haven't been arrested. I've been frisked one time. Haven't been arrested. You know, haven't been shot yet. No one stabbed me yet, you know. I haven't been to the hospital yet. But who knows, you know, maybe today's the day. I don't know. Fuck. Man. Okay. For this one person, this is why I love God. This one person is already going to the hospital. And there's nothing you can fucking do. Nothing, you know? But this is why I love God. I just come in and I take all the fucking money, and then that person's just in the hospital. Just, what was the point in doing all the stupid things, right? I have a saying, you know, play stupid games, win stupid rewards. So, King Von, now, all the movies and all the TV shows and all the music, it's from the devil himself. And believe it or not, King Von was actually a Satanist, by the way. I know it's very difficult for you people to understand this, but this is why I'm telling you all. So King Von, and I'm going to use the movie, the Dark Knight Rises. So it was the mob versus the police for a while. The mob uses prostitutes and drugs. They sell drugs, and they use prostitutes to get money. And then the police come in and then, you know, raid the place and confiscate the drugs, arrest people. And it's always just this back and forth. And then the Joker comes in, and the Joker's like, why don't we get rid of the Batman? Why don't we get rid of the devil, you know? And it was a revolutionary. People were like, no, you know what I mean? At night, it's very scary, you see. I run these streets, but at night, it's very scary. I know I can go for a run right now, but in my neighborhood, it's very scary to run at night. Unfortunately, for whatever reason. It's not, but, the nighttime, it's very scary. You know? And so King Von was a pimp, essentially. And he had girls working for him, And so he would, and how they got money, obviously they would take the money from the prostitutes. The prostitute would, you know, do the thing, get the money and give it to King Von. But another way that they used to make money is, let's say you raped one of the girls. King Von would come in and then go to that house and then basically rob the whole place, hold you at gunpoint, take all the money, and it's just bad people stealing from bad people. So it's like, and then that person's not going to go to the police because they're also doing shady stuff, selling drugs, and also being a pimp. And so it's just like, that's why they you know, got so rich. But it doesn't work, you know what I mean? It don't work. And so the police are trying to get after the mob, and then the Joker comes in. And the Joker's like, let's get rid of the devil, you know? Fucking smack it, like, boom, you know? Hopefully this makes sense. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you know? And so, in the Middle Ages, they used to take a witch, you know, tie her to a wooden post, put a bunch of hay, and then light it on fire. Nowadays, you just come to St. Francis of Rome, how you doing, you know? I love, on the back of the bulletin, it's in the top right corner, it's we are a diverse community and we accept people from all walks of life. I love that, you know. I enjoy the witches. They unfortunately give me the most money, and so this is why they get quite a bit of attention from me. Because believe it or not, I work for money. Believe it or not, I know it looks like I work for free, but I work for money, and that's a joke, obviously. But hopefully, you know, as things, you know, as we get further along the line, you know, hopefully, you know, people learn, you know, don't be a fucking idiot, you know what I mean? Hopefully common sense comes back, you know, hopefully, like, we actually, hey, you know, probably shouldn't do that, you know? And that was very funny today, you know, with that one witch, at the end of the Holy Mass, and it's like, doing the consecration to Our Lady. Devotion to Our Lady gets abused, but that's why I'm here, you know. Grace, I'm here to fuck it. You know what I mean? I'll get to the bottom of it, and I'm gonna fucking fix it because I'm the best, right? And I love it, you know. I want to say this, and I know it looks like I'm boasting, and I am. I am Our Lady's favorite. It takes a while. And I make it look so easy that God has to exalt me and make me better than everyone because people are fucking stupid. And so that's why that shooting happened in Minneapolis. I had the same thoughts that person, you know, I look at one photo of that person, I don't know if they're a guy or a girl. I don't know. This is why, you know, the transgender bullshit, you know, just make it easy. Are you a guy or a girl? You know, do you have a penis or a vagina? Is it like, you know what I mean? That person, I still don't even know. And I don't even care. But I had those same thoughts. And so God has to what? Exalt me. Basically say, like, you cannot do what the fuck I can do. You cannot. And so I don't like that shooter specifically, because if you're gonna kill someone, at least take life in prison. At least. That's the least you could do. You're gonna kill two people, at least like take life in prison. You commit suicide after, it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? You're like, you're too scared or something. You can't bear the burden. Like, it's fucking stupid, you know? And that's why that guy's a bitch, you know what I mean? He's probably walking around in hell, just for whatever reason, you know? I don't think Pope Francis is in hell. I think he has quite a bit of time in purgatory. Shout out to that guy. But yeah, it's still one other thing that I liked from Pope Francis was him being against the death penalty, which I agree when there's resources. Like in America, we got a lot of money, and so we can put someone in life in prison, and I agree. They got a lot of time to think about what they did their whole life, and hopefully they repent in some way or fashion. And so they don't have the eternal condemnation, but they have a chance at eternal redemption, you know, hopefully. Where there's resources, we should put the person life in jail, you know, where there's resources. But yeah, hopefully people just, you know, do what the Holy Bible said. I know it's very difficult. Like, it's probably one of the most difficult things in the world to believe in God. Me personally, I don't think it's very that difficult, you know. I make it look easy for a reason, you know. Like, and it's like I do it so well that it's like, oh, okay, like you're gonna share a portion in Grayson's cup, you know. I like the Psalms. I like whoever wrote the Psalms, like my cup, my cup overflows, all this. Like, in my portion, you can't do what I do. Unfortunately, there is no one that can do what the fuck I can do. And it's like, if you think I make it look easy, it's because I'm perfect. And so that my portion will be extended to that person in Minneapolis, and then they're gonna go and fucking shoot 2 people and commit suicide. It's like, what's the point? That's the easy way. That's the fucking easy way. It's like, it don't make sense. So it's like, I am perfect, and I know I am. I'm the best. And I'm gonna say I am Our Lady's favorite. I had a thought once, and I enjoy it, and it was, "You are the greatest saint of all time." And I'm like, yeah, I agree 100%. But I'm just gonna make jokes, because that's how I cope with this. This is how I enjoy this. Being the greatest prophet of all time, it's a lot to carry. Believe me, it's a lot. And so this is why I make jokes. It's very difficult to believe in God. And so I understand the bullshit, as they say. Like, in the Old Testament, Israel would go to war with like another neighboring nation. God would give them victory. Within 1 or 2 generations, they're in sin and idolatry, committing adultery, doing all the other garbage. And then God gives another nation, and then they enslave them, and it's this whole big deal. Then Israel repents and goes back to God. Oh, all this is oppressive, all this garbage, and then eventually they change. But it's just the same. It's just the constant. It's just the same cycle, Like, God will give you a victory, and then you go back to sin and whatever the fuck, and then your life just goes horrible, and then you repent and you go, "Oh God, please, I need some help." All this, and then God like helps you, and then you're like, "Wow, my life is doing so good," and then you start sinning again, and it's just this up and down, and it's just like, hopefully people learn, you know what I mean? I know it is very difficult to believe in God. It is by far one of the most difficult things in the world. And I joke about this because people are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? My favorite people in the world is when you think God is stupid. Those people specifically. Like, I love them the most. It's like, oh, you think God's stupid? It's like, oh, I found a loophole in the system, in this matrix we live in. I found a loophole. I'm gonna win. It's like, if you think God's stupid, it's like, you're the one, you're the one that's stupid. And this is why the devil's kingdom, which is the entertainment industry, this is why they get on stage, and this is why they dance and they sing. Is because you're gonna dance and you're gonna sing because you're stupid. You know what I mean? If you think you found a loophole, you're the joke. You know what I mean? You get on stage and you dance and you sing for everyone, so that we can be entertained and point and laugh and go, I don't want to do that in my life. Look how garbage that is. And that's the story. Now, in the movies and the TV shows and the music, there's some truth. Because God's the ultimate. The devil is just an angel. And so the devil has to submit to God, even though the devil and his angels, they want to rebel against God. They have to, because this is God's world, which is hilarious. And anytime, like, as far as suffering in the world is concerned, there's double the amount of good angels in the world than bad angels. And I want to reveal this, because I want you to put two and two together. People are angels. That's why there's so many angels. Like in heaven, there's so many angels. And then when you come down from heaven, when you come on earth, kind of like me, and you're a saint, kind of like me, you get to do a lot of work out here. It's like when you're on earth, this is like the testing grounds. Like it's just a test. That's all it is. You're going to be put in this situation, that situation. What are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? What are you not going to do? What are you going to say? All this. And then the day of judgment, you're going to get graded on how you did. Everything you've ever done, everything you've ever said, everything you didn't do. And then you're going to get whatever, heaven or hell. And it's that simple, And I know it's very difficult to believe in God. And so I know this might sound confusing. And I know for some people, because people are fucking stupid, very confusing. It's very complicated, very complicated, very complicated, And so I don't expect anyone to understand what I'm saying, This is why I just make these videos. Is because my life is too easy. You know what I mean? It is way too easy, And so it's stupid, The left and the right, it's stupid, It really is. Like, it's just fucking stupid. If you think like you're gonna find a loophole against God, it's like, what's the point? There is no point, you know what I mean? This is why people die, and this is why I don't care if people die. I really don't. Like, I don't. It means nothing to me. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because if I'm put in that situation, I know what I'm doing. And this is why I'm still alive. This is why I'm still kicking well, Very healthy. For whatever reason. It's like God protects me for some reason. I don't know why. Believe me, I don't know why. It's like I'm anointed or something. I have no idea. I'm still learning myself, But it's like, people are fucking stupid. It's like, how do you remedy that? Like, how do you, hey, you shouldn't do that. You could tell them. It's like, what's the point? What's the point? And that's just my question. What's the point?